very warm welcome. I have with me a law student, Sakshi. Uh, Welcome to the show, Sakshi.
Hello, thank you for having me. I was very excited to be on it, especially after I saw a few videos that you've posted.
Oh, lovely. Uh, I'm glad you are here, and I can assure you that by the end of this talk, you will be even more happier that you came to contribute to this cause, where hopefully somebody somewhere will get just one line and get some peace, some calm, uh,
Yeah.
some connectivity with being human, kind of thing. Uh, as we were chatting just before starting the recording for this particular episode, the topic that we are covering in the youth series right now is jealousy. So, randomly, what is jealousy to you?
So, jealousy to me would uh, be an emotion where a person is, in a way, being protective over the other person. I won't always consider it to be a negative emotion. If it is in limits, then I will always consider it to be a positive emotion. If it goes beyond a limit, then I would say it's a very negative emotion. It's just a person showing love and being possessive over you in a way where you mean something to them.
Okay. So, you're saying it is attention.
I would say yes, that person would want attention at that point. But in a very good way, not a way where it is like you can't give attention to anyone, you just have to be with me. Not that, it's just ki we haven't met in such a long time, please meet me. Why are you meeting that person? I'm here only for a few days, you should meet me. So I would call that like a tad bit jealousy, but it is just to spend time with me. It won't come out of a place where she has started hanging out with those people. I don't want her to hang out with those people. She's only my friend, or she's only what my girlfriend is.
Hmm. Very interesting perspective, this one.
Yeah.
I should be wary of asking questions to law people because they do not give regular answers, and which is what I like. Uh, What about personal space? Because these days this is a big deal, man. Everybody is talking, "Arey, leave me alone and let me decide and let me figure out." However confused and problematic a situation would be for me,
Hmm.
beyond the point, I do not want your attention at all. How do you see this clash happening, or how does one draw the line? Because twice or thrice you use the term within limits, within limits. Where is
Yes.
that limit? How do you draw that line?
I personally would draw the lines where I'm not able to sleep. If if any kind of thing is getting in the middle of my sleep, then that is where I would draw lines, because sleep means a lot to me. And it is like in uh, so basically law is a very theoretical subject and you need a lot of studies for it. So if I don't get sleep, then I'm not able to study, and if that gets affected, then my mood in general gets very affected, and I'm very I won't say I'm sad, but it just irritates me ki I had decided the stipulated amount of portion and I was not able to complete it, for example. So then I'm like, yeah, I need to sleep, then I'll be able to study, and then only I'll be able to get on track. And uh, so if anything is interfering with my sleep, that is where I would draw the lines. And then at that point, I would be like, please leave me alone. I need to have my own time. I'll think about it.
Eh,
And yeah.
Sorry, you wanted to add something to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But at times, there are a lot of other things that also happening with the person which you may not know about. So, when a person is telling you ki they need space, or just leave me alone, then sometimes it's better to do that, because that would uh, give you a more fruitful outcome of whatever the problem is.
Okay. Uh, How did such wisdom come upon you? What is it that you've seen? Because I personally think that wisdom does not come by chance. Is there anything that you would want to share where you learned a few lessons on how to be grounded about yourself and self love? Because this is one topic that uh, I think very deeply about. I think it's a malaise for the entire generation. People don't respect or love themselves enough. That's why this whole
Yeah.
hankering after things. So, how have you stumbled upon this wisdom that we are all struggling with?
So, throughout the period of COVID, it was everyone was home, and it was very frustrating after a point seeing the same faces like constantly because you're not used to it. Everyone is out for work, you're out in school, you see new faces. So, for 2 whole years, you were seeing the same faces in the house, and after a point, it became like I need to do something that will make me happy because at this point, I'm not happy.
Okay.
So then that is when I started doing things which I liked. So I really like to do photography. So I started getting into that. I used to just go up on the terrace and shoot, whatever I used to see. I started reading books. I got into reading again through after my 10th started. The whole thing had like disrupted my hobbies. So I was not able to read like 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th were completely in studies. So it was like I got I got back into reading. So when I started doing the things I liked, it gave me a lot of peace and it just made me think very clearly about things. So when I started doing that, that is when I realized all these things. That is when I actually started liking, or the self love part of it. That is when it actually happened.
So, one tricky question here.
Hmm.
Suppose there were no books, no camera, nothing.
Hmm.
Would you still love yourself?
I would, yes, I would find some or the other way to do it.
What if there is no way? I'm saying no
I would.
manifestation. The question is serious, actually. There is no
Okay.
manifestation. There is no going
Okay.
outwards.
Hmm.
So COVID actually did that to us. Now it just put us in a space where you're still talking three, four people. There are people who stayed alone. So that's
Yeah.
completely different challenge altogether.
Hmm.
The fear was there for all of us. We were unsure because the world you saw, it was like a Hollywood movie, bad Hollywood movie coming true.
Yes.
So suppose you were alone and there is no family, there is no other frustration. Now you
Hmm.
have to be with yourself and there is no outlet also for whatever reason.
Okay.
What would Sakshi tell Sakshi then?
I would probably just take one day at a time because I am not a person who will take a lot of stress of things. I am like, we'll cross the bridge whenever we get to it. So I don't think about a lot of things. I'm very calm and chill when I'm on my own. So I mean, I don't I don't know exactly how I would be in that situation, the situation that you described, but I'm sure I would be okay. I would be. I don't think I'll not love myself or be in a state where I would want other people's gratification for it.
This is a beautiful answer. And for the simplistic nature of it, I do not want to uh, put it down, but it is a beautiful answer because I want to pursue that just one line that you said that I know I would be good, I would be
Fine.
happy
Yeah.
with myself.
Yes.
Where does this come from? Do you want to just? I know you might have not thought about it, or you might
Hmm.
have. I do not know.
Hmm.
Do you want to spend a bit of time trying to explain where that comes from? What makes you uh, so much in love with you, if I were to call it? Because we are talking about a situation where you really have no outlet, and you're still confident
Correct.
you would get through.
Yeah.
And I think the whole world and country was losing it. So, what makes
Yeah.
you so confident? Where does this space come from?
So growing up, since school days, actually, there were a lot of like a few years of my life. Actually, it was like it was just me on my own. Like obviously my parents were there, but both being working in the working profession, it was mostly me on my own. Like I used to come back from school, then I used to go to class, I used to do, so everything whatever I did on my own. So that is, so I became independent at a very young age. These are not my words, these are my parents words. But when they used to say it, that gave me a lot of confidence, because I was like, oh, if I did a lot of things which kids didn't do at that age, then I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get over anything. Be it matter, staying alone, not being able to get out my feelings, or having, things to do that I like.
Okay.
So if I ever get into a situation when I think about something, or if I think that I am in a spot right now, I'm in a very difficult situation, I always think back at what they had said, that you became independent at a very young age. So that would just mean that I need to find my way out through this. So there is a way, I just need to see it. So yeah, I mean, then it just sort of happens.
Yeah.
I can't explain the process of how I find the solution, because, to be honest, even I don't know it. I just, think back at what they say, what they have said, and it just comes in some
Yeah.
or the other.
I know. I think it's an attitude thing that you're describing, but I want
Okay.
to pursue this a little more. Is there any time that you remember during those days when it was a tough day and that kind of gave you a handle over yourself? I know you have said that it is your parents who have given you the confidence, and
Hmm.
this is by itself a separate topic what parents do, in specifically in India, where we run down our kids and do not
Yeah.
appreciate them enough.
Huh.
Uh, but if you had to think about this, was there any
Hmm.
time that you thought of and then you realized that you wanted to get out, but you had nobody, and then you kind of realized this quote unquote independence thing? I don't know what to call it, but we'll go with your word for now.
Um, Yeah, there has been. So this happened actually like a year back. Last year, we got a new car. So I had gone out and I got into an accident. So basically, I was just parked at the side of the road, and I was waiting for my friend to come. And we were near our college area at that time. The road is very small, and people drive
Easily.
super rash. And uh, I had taken care of all the things, like you should park at the extreme left, you should turn on your blinkers and everything. I had done everything, and still some guy, and I was not even at any corner. So it was like I was on the road but at the side, and it was a, like, it was so visible that no one can come and hit you. But still, a person came talking on the phone. He was not looking at the road. He took some turn from pitches and he was looking somewhere else. He directly came and hit my car, and my tire punctured on the spot.
One sec, huh?
So
One
yeah.
sec. Sorry. He hit your car.
Yeah, he hit my car and my tire got punctured. Like it became flat and I could see it becoming flat. So that I was very anxious at that point, not over anything, or not thinking that, oh, my dad will scold me now, what will I do? But I was thinking, because I had to get to college on time, and it was a very crowded road. There was no way I could move my car. So I was thinking what to do, because I was like, what if I'm not able to fix this? What if I'm not able to fix the this thing? But then that's when I thought about whatever I generally think about, and then I changed the tire. I put on the stepney, and I was able to put the other tire in my trunk. I went to college. I gave my exam. I didn't have like the final exam, but I had some kind of this thing that day. And yeah, I mean, I sorted it. I came back home also driving the car very nicely.
Okay. Uh, do your friends come to you for advice?
They do, yes. They do.
Uh, are they happy with your
Uh,
advice? Because you give such sensible advice. I don't think that is in vogue these days.
yeah. Whoever has come to me for advice, and they still do come again. And they do tell me that what you told did make sense, and whatever you told us that day did work out. So yeah, I mean, I don't give them any out of the world kind of advice. It's just that I give them advice from a third point of view. Like, as a third person, you see a lot of things that the person who is in the situation don't. So as a third person, when I give the advice, it helps.
So is self-love and self-respect an antidote to jealousy?
I wouldn't say it's an antidote, because even though I love myself a lot, there are times when I do get jealous. It's not that I don't, but you just have to learn to not cross the other person's limit to an extent when they'll start feeling as if you're constantly nagging or you're being a burden. You should keep it to a level where it's healthy.
Okay.
So actually, sorry, I'm cutting you, but to keep it in the level where it's healthy, that's where self love does come in.
Yeah. I when you were talking and I was just thinking that we have not been speaking about jealousy, but while you were giving that answer, it came to me that I seek gratification from other people or attention from other people when I don't feel enough.
Hmm.
Um, like I know people, not necessarily your generation, but if I were to say 20 to 35, generic uh,
Hmm.
people not settled yet in a committed relationship, for example. Uh, Sometimes they are talking to two, three people who are like potential relationships.
Okay.
Okay, and they are going on with this and that and that. And I have been actually studying why is this happening, and I find that this is a big lack because you get into people pleasing sheerly because you do not like yourself enough.
Hmm.
And this is just one little manifestation because in a personal relationship, then you get the chance to nag. You can't nag the whole world.
Yeah.
You can. So if you are my friend, I can actually nag you and say, "Nee, nee, let's go sit in the canteen. Yaar, come on, come on." You say, "I have some studies."
Hmm.
Arey, no, 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 come, come, come. So I can nag you because
Yeah.
you're a friend of mine. I can't do this to the rest of the class, for example.
Yeah.
So I am coming from that space. Do you think self-love and respect could sort out a major issue with these, um, where jealousy is a negative? Let's just put it this way.
Okay.
Could it?
Uh, I don't, I can't 100% say that it could, because I think there are a lot of other aspects to jealousy which is not just self love or self respect. Maybe there can be a case where that person has experienced something because of which that person has become jealous, or is the way that the person is. So just putting a mark on it by saying self love and self respect can cure it would be wrong, because we don't know what the person has experienced. So we can't, I don't think that it will always, because at times if you have experienced something which other people don't know about, or which other people can't even imagine, then you just trying to find self love within yourself, or trying to gain the self respect uh, wouldn't mean anything, because it won't happen. At times you do need some extrinsic support
Yeah,
to give yourself the push, and to gain that support you might ask for it through jealousy.
yeah. Wonderful. It's quite a subtle answer that you have managed to point out. Um, this is in context of jealousy, but I want to ask, what does commitment mean to you?
Commitment to what?
I don't want to specify a relationship,
Okay.
yourself, your. Uh, so I'll give you an example which is business related.
Hmm.
So I am a writer. I have a design partner always. In advertising, you need two people to work on all kinds of communication most
Hmm.
time. So there have been times in my life where both of us have gone and pitched for a client. One of us has been given the job, the other person has been dropped.
Okay.
And it is after considerable time on the job has been spent.
Hmm.
And because things are bad, the question comes up, how are you going to deal with this? Now, if you are getting the job and I am not getting it,
Hmm.
at that point, commitment becomes a big one. Where are you committed? What are you going to do? How are you going to resolve it? And the client is also very important. You can't run away and say, okay, look, I don't want to do this for you. Because every year he
Hmm.
is giving you some work, which is possibly one of the most important jobs of the year.
Okay.
So this has happened. And at that point of time, uh, it really tests what commitment is instead of just a
Okay.
question. So similarly,
Yeah.
in a relationship, in this, it's not that a person who's not committing himself has no other issues, but he or she is just a loose person and has no ethics. The question is,
Okay.
where does that come from and what is really happening in that context?
Hmm.
So how do you see commitment? This is a general context I laid. You don't
Hmm.
need to go down this path, but just to give
Okay.
you how tough commitment can get at times.
Hmm.
So please.
So I would say that commitment in anything for that matter, like you said, studies, career, relationship, work, anything. So I just see it in a way that I will give my 100% no matter what. For me, that is commitment. No matter what problems I come across, I'll get over it and I'll give my 100%. And obviously see it till the end. Not just, give my 100% and then be like, oh, it's not working. So leave it. I'll see it to the end, whatever the end is. Because you can't always guarantee that the end is good. But whatever the end is, I'll still see it through. And this in terms of everything, because even when it comes to studies, you at times it happens, and it has happened with me, where you like work a lot, you study a lot, you do everything that you're supposed to do, but still at times there are incident like there are days when you don't get the result. So it's okay, you can't always guarantee that no, you will get 100% result if you put in 100% work. There can be some things that one day which goes wrong.
Do you believe in God, destiny, all those kind of things?
I do believe in God, but I am not a very religious person, because I mean, I am a person that I believe in some entity, but I wouldn't tag it. I wouldn't give that entity a name of some, a Hindu god or a Christian god. Yes, I just believe in some. I believe in the person who has created the universe, and every religion claims that our God has created the universe. So I'm like, who has exactly created them also at some point? So I go into thinking a lot of things which are like, which many people don't even understand at times. They're like, "Ki aise nahi hota," but I'm like, I mean, my head works that way. So whenever I pray, wherever I am, I don't pray saying the God's name. I just pray by saying to whoever has created us and the universe, and then carry on with my prayer or say what I want to say.
Is that a lawyer's prayer to whomsoever it may concern?
I should say that next time.
Uh, we shall talk about this. post the
Hmm.
podcast because all topics that you're raising seem to have a podcast of its own. But we'll stick to the topic at hand. And
Yes.
does your happiness scare your friends? In a well,
Does
because it's a settled kind of happiness. It's not one of those excited spikes that go up and come down, which is
hmm.
what we are used to most of the time. Oh, let's go picnicking, let's do this, let's do that. And then suddenly you're like, ah, no, man, I'm very bored. Yeah. So those kind of things, while once in a while happens to all of us, and
Hmm.
thanks to social media, happens far more often than we would want. But you seem to have a settled version of things
Hmm.
which are cooled and calmed down, if I were to use a term,
Yeah.
instead of uh, a very old worldly wisdom. Uh, no, actually, when we were growing up, this was something I looked forward to. And then when I
Okay.
grew up, I realized there's nothing like that. Everybody is an overgrown kid. You meet some people who have this quote unquote gravitas,
Huh.
and some people may not have. And
Yeah.
it's all right. It's not everybody needs to have it. It's just your personal like and dislike at work.
Yeah.
So, do your friends wonder, or are they jealous? Is a strong term, but are they a
Hmm.
little irritated sometimes that yeah, you seem to always have all the answers and you're sensible about it? Be nonsensical
Hmm.
a bit or something. Does that happen?
No, it doesn't happen. Like that has never happened. I've never. No one has ever said that to me also, because I mean there are days when I am having a rough day and I would rant about it, and that is like very common for anyone. Like you can have a rough day where you just want to rant about it, and you do. So uh, again, that cannot be considered like you don't have your life in your hand. But at times there are stressful days, so it's not that I'm always this calm and composed. I am uh, in most of the situations I am like this, but in certain cases where there are a lot of things happening, you don't know what exactly to do, you have some other pressure from some other person. So during that times I am a bit here and there, but that lasts for a day max or two, and then again that is gone.
Hmm.
So in general cases, if it's taking me like a few hours to get over something and be calm about it and be like okay ठीक है देख लेंगे क्या है. So sometimes it takes me 1 or 2 days, but it has not gone over that yet.
तो एवरीथिंग इज पंचर ही तो है, ठीक हो ही जाएगा.
Yes. हम लाइक ठीक है देख लेंगे जो है वो है.
बराबर. May sound like a sexist question. It is not.
Hmm.
Do guys get intimidated by you?
Yes, they do. They do, and a lot of people have told me this on my face, and some have, ऐसे घूम घूम के फिर के मेरे पास आया है. But guys do get intimidated by me, and because I come from a family where everyone is into doing, things which the normal world wouldn't imagine. For example, my dad is into rock climbing and rappelling. He's into the extra adventure activities. So I get most of his genes from this, and I do things which generally, I'm not again being sexist, but these are the basic conceptions that guys do this and girls do that. So when I do something that doesn't fit their conception, then they get very intimidated by it. So I drive a bike, so then that also intimidates guys because अरे जनरली सिर्फ लड़के बाइक चलाते ये भी बाइक चला लेती है. So all of that, or if like a lot of people that I've seen, they get intimidated because I drive a car also. Like a lot of girls drive a car, ऐसे नहीं है कि they don't drive a car.
Or is
But
it not?
I have that has come, like I have seen, and some people have told me also this. So I'm like, it's a normal
Does
thing,
that
like take care.
does that make you feel Sorry, I lost the question. There was something else coming up. Uh, uh, does that make you feel lesser towards guys in the sense of that they don't seem to have it sorted, or do you also meet guys who are not intimidated? Actually, that self love and respect thing keeps running in my head at the background sometimes, because that suddenly becomes very important in the way we deal with
Yeah,
the world. Because
yeah,
everything is about if I am confident of myself at a deeper level, why would I even bother about
exactly.
if you are riding a bike or whatever? It's up to
Yeah,
you. I may like or dislike is a separate thing. That okay, I want to ride the bike and you do the pillion riding. So
yeah,
that's a different thing. But it's got nothing to do with you being a female or male. That matter.
yeah.
So do you feel cheated of something because you are being better than normal and people are actually putting you down for that?
I've never felt that. I'm like, "ये उसको जो लगे वो उसका है." I love driving a bike. I'm gonna keep driving a bike no matter who is jealous or who says what.
No, if the person is closer to you, it's a closed group and say friends, but you don't make
Hmm.
friends with such kind of people at all. I'm presuming that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't, you can't be happy for me and, be genuinely happy for the things that I'm getting or, I'm doing.
Yes.
And if I'm finding happiness in it, and if you see that I'm very content, unless I'm doing something wrong which is giving me content. If tomorrow if I start doing drugs and, I'm in that nasha and I'm being very happy, and then that person is trying to tell me that, this is wrong, then I would say then that is a good person. But if I'm doing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
which is right, and if it's not wrong, and if I'm being happy, then why can't you just be happy for me? Why do you have to, take it
Judge
to
me.
heart and start comparing yourself with it and then be jealous about it?
Barabar. You ride a bullet, kya?
I read a hunter, but yes, Royal Enfield.
Yeah. That is intimidating if I were to say so. Not because you're a woman, because the bike itself is.
Yeah, the bike itself is very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
But like the question that you were previously getting to, I have met guys who are very settled and, who are like very calm about it and very nice about it. In fact, they are like, bro, this is so good. I'm so proud of you that, you're driving a bike and this is very nice. So I've met those kind of people also, and I've met the other set of people also.
uh, it is not a question that a girl is generally asked, but
Hmm.
do you get friend zoned because of that?
I don't I don't go any close to a person that I get friends of.
Sorry, come again.
I don't get into that thing any which is where I like that person and everything that, and then it's like कि भाई तू तो मेरा भाई है करके, I'm like कि I don't get into all of
No,
that
you
anymore.
don't. That's why I said a girl is rarely asked that question. Guys are.
Uh,
So considering
yeah,
they do have
I get friend zoned, I get bro zoned. So, like, there is a group of guys in my society, and I'm the
bikers.
only girl in that group. And other people fight कि वो है मैं क्यों नहीं हूँ, वो लड़की है, but you say only guys are allowed. And then they are like, but she is a very different person. You can't relate to it. So in that way, I am very much friend zoned when it comes to all these things.
Hmm. There is an interesting thought running in my head. I am trying to
Hmm.
formulate a question because of this last line that you said that she is very different.
Hmm.
Uh, as human beings, we love to segregate so that we understand things.
Yeah.
But we forget the understanding part of it. We are just always stuck on the differences. So you are
Hmm.
Maharashtrian, I am not, and you are a
Hmm.
girl, I am a guy, you are tall, I am short, you ride a bike, I don't. So these
Hmm.
demarcations are very important for human behavior because we love to classify things and put them in boxes, and that is how it works for us. It's easier to retain कि यार ये सटकेली है, ये बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, ये बहुत वाइज है, ये है. Sometimes ये दोनों है, but we like a
Uh,
classification. And that is why these declassifications, like you, create a problem for others because they don't know which box you are to be put in. तो
hmm.
वो कैसे उसको समझें कि ये कौन है, तो वो प्रॉब्लम है. If you
Hmm.
understand where I'm coming from. Uh, this is also in relation to you said that you pray to whichever gods there might be,
Hmm.
or nature or whoever.
Yes.
So, do you think problems to the littleness, to the smugness, to the confidence could sometimes be being unsure, being not confident enough? It's okay not to be confident and let things loose so that we can figure out how things work. Is it a possibility that more people are given that kind of knowledge? Because even as a lawyer, I do not know what level of teaching happens till the year that you have reached. But as a lawyer, generally it is contextuality, it is perception, it is
Hmm.
how you portray that helps you win cases or not.
Hmm.
Uh, Understanding of legality, splicing up every word literally to go to the
Yeah.
depth of what it might mean. Uh, so you think there is merit in thinking about this? I don't know because I also don't have an answer. You'll say, so what's the point? I have no point. I'm just creating an
Okay.
ambience. I'm creating an ambience in terms of it becomes easier to handle each other. Then we
Hmm.
will not be so caught up upon, okay, you are this, I am this. You'll say, okay, yeah, it's okay. We can't figure out what she is. I can't figure out who I am, and it's okay. Because so often it happens. Like in the morning, I have this conversation with you. In the evening, we would be having a completely different conversation. The
Hmm.
person that you are and I am at this point will not be the same person. We will have a
Yeah.
one day in between, and whatever experiences, what
Yes.
learnings, good or bad, it
Hmm.
will color us. So you think there is something that can be done, and as a person from the generation that you are at this point, and with a good mind that you seem to have, is there
Yeah.
something that can be done to create this kind of ambience or environment or discussions, or what could be done besides my podcast? That is,
Getting rid of Insta.
sorry,
Getting rid of Instagram.
getting rid of Instagram. Why would you say that?
I mean, the part where you said about people, being smug about something, or they being like less confident. Nowadays, I feel that from whatever I've seen, mainly it comes when it goes to social media. So, like, what I have noticed in people is that everything for them would be social media. So, if you don't get that kind of gratification, or if you don't think that you're liked, then that part will come, where they're smug about your life, because they are like like okay, I mean they might think that if you don't like that person, then that person will also feel the same way that you are. So I don't think that's the answer that you were looking for, but I do think that that is the case nowadays.
Is that a manifestation or is it the actual thing?
I didn't understand.
So that is an expression of what you're saying. It's not necessarily the, matlab, suppose you have fever, but the reason
Hmm.
is that you had food poisoning yesterday, you had something and that has led to the fever. So is Instagram the fever, but food poisoning is happening somewhere else?
Uh, no, I don't mean it in that way.
So you mean
But
what way?
I
Matlab,
mean,
suppose there is no Insta today.
hmm,
That would kill half of my sharing this episode, but I'm presuming people see it. My long form content is not really uh, popular on Insta, and I put on reels and they work sometimes.
hmm,
Uh, but I don't care honestly. The idea is that if you can't give yourself 1 hour to go through a conversation like this, which is
yeah,
meaningful, has gravitas and some depth, and it's not really very deep, but at least it's not Insta. Like it won't give you
yeah,
gratification in two answers. You will have to spend 1 hour and spend your mind on it to figure out what you think
yeah,
about that subject. So what would happen if there is no Insta? Like what you now we are used to connecting with each other. Like we don't know each other from Adam, and somehow we've connected. And I think from the first word itself we have connected. Whatever the reason, maybe you've seen those episodes, and uh, this is my attempt to connect with people. Obviously, I put in my best. So how do you see this connection happening if there is no Insta? I'm just asking.
So there were connections happening even before Instagram. It's not that people, there were no connections and people were not meeting. So the way just would be different than the way it is right now. I mean,
Hmm.
I guess then I would have probably come across your video on YouTube or something, or someone must have told me. I would have searched you up, and then I would have probably contacted you saying, even I would like to be on a podcast.
Yeah, is it that good?
It is good, yeah, it is actually very good. And like you said, I really think people should spend 1 hour of their days into listening to the podcast. And it's like you spend so many hours watching Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and everything, in Netflix and everything. So you can spend some time watching a podcast which will actually help you deal with things in life, and you'll find something to relate to other than Instagram.
Uh, One question that came to me, thank you for the positive note of confidence on that. I've been wishing that all my guests did that, but this is the first time it's actually happening on its own. But of late, I've been receiving this, and it feels good that finally people are getting to understand the context where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
Because most of the time, it has always been about, oh, the quality is not good enough, and this and that, and which is fine because that is, I come from an advertising background. My problem is if I take care of all of that, so I was
yeah.
unable to concentrate on the merit of what I'm talking.
Hmm.
I need to be authentic. That is the most important
Yeah.
essence of this. Um, so the question that has come up, possibly the last question, what are the value systems that hold you and make you? Like, what are things that you are so uh, you hold very dearly to your heart? Ki this is Sakshi, and this will never not be. So, in terms of value systems, ethical stuff,
Hmm.
something that you are very hard-earned, proud of, kind of thought.
Something that I'm like, some value that I'm very proud about is I will always do the things that I love, no matter who says what,
Okay.
even if it's a close person. Because at the end of the day, it's going to come a time when that person is not going to be there. It's just going to be you. So if you stop doing something just for the people that you love, and people who are very close to you, it would just be you're giving up on half of your life. So many people don't agree with this, but it is like, at the end of the day, it's going to be you. There's not going to be anyone there. I mean, obviously, you will have, like, family and everything, but how long?
Hmm. So that is the essence of who you stand for or what you stand for.
Yeah, everything that I do, everything that the way I solve things, the way I, find my way through life, I'm like, you will have to, because it's you at the end of the day. And that is how if there is any kind of a problem, then it's like, okay, I always think that what would you do if you don't have family? How will you solve this problem? Because not always can you call your family and then be like, I'm here, this is the problem, and, please come and help. Then that becomes very, you're dependent on people so much that you can't navigate your life. Because I mean, I see it from a point of view of what I want in future. So my aim after my studies is, to go abroad and settle down. So when I go abroad, I wouldn't be having my family with me. And it's at first, and I don't know how difficult it is outside, but nowadays it's very difficult to make good friends, like people whom you have had from for the past 5 6 years or so, those, or maybe 10 years from school days, from 11 12, those are the people who will actually stay. But when you go out, it's like there's a lot of different distance between you and your friends, there's a lot of distance between you and your family. So who will you call in times of need?
What is wrong with
It's
India?
fine. What is wrong with it? We should have another podcast episode about why I want to go abroad, because that is a whole different.
We will
That
let
will give
that pass
you.
for now. Um,
Yeah.
hey, I have another serious question on that. You said you do whatever you love. Uh, what if it is wrong?
Being from a legal background, I generally don't tend to do things which are illegal.
But that is the
So,
but that is then putting down the answer to too much of individual agency as the
huh.
person that you are. I'm saying, but generic answer, if you were not the person that you are, how would you see it?
Generic answer would be, I have the brains of knowing what is right and what is wrong when it comes to, doing something. So even, uh, and if I have that, differentiation in my head about what is wrong and what is right, I won't like things which are wrong in the first place, or doing things which are wrong. So I don't know. It's very difficult to give even one example for this, but yeah. So, for example, like if I say I like to do shooting as an as a sport. If I like to do shooting, so I know where the right is and where the wrong is. I would not tomorrow go and shoot someone, not from a legal point of view, but it's just like me. I have a gun. I can do whatever I want. So that is not how it is. If you're doing something because you like it, you'll know where to stop doing it.
And I'll be glad to be your friend if you have a gun.
I don't. For people who are listening, I don't have a gun. It was an example.
It's a good example. Uh, yeah, मतलब then I would say साक्षी बाई ने भेजा है. Yeah, Ben, whatever you prefer.
Anything is fine.
Good, good. It's been a fun conversation. Uh, I will be honest, there have been a lot of uh, issues that I would want to pick your brains on. And yeah, hopefully at some other point we'll do another podcast, which is a generic kind of podcast where we could go beyond what we've spoken. I do not know whether we've spoken about jealousy in detail in that sense. But one of the things that has definitely come out for me in this is that working on yourself uh, constantly and having the kind of self love and self respect that you are emanating through your answers and your outlook of things is definitely an antidote to a lot of other things that keep on affecting us. That could be Insta, that could be jealousy, that could be uh, comparison is a big problem that even parents seem to have. Forget kids. Uh, and I think you set a good example, and all the very best to you. I hope our country retains you and you are not able to go abroad sheerly because I think we deserve the best here. Why would we share it with anyone? And we shall speak about this because I have another interesting story to share with you on that post this podcast. Thank you so much for giving your time and attention.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you around.
Yes.